Welcome back to How to Save Like a Mennonite, and I'm Rachel, the Mennonite Miser, and I am your Mennonite Miser advisor. And today I want to talk to you about food and nutrition. So the first part of this video will be kind of organizing, time-saving, cookbooks, and that type of thing. And the second part will be recipes, and they'll all be contained in this one single video. I won't have two videos on food unless it becomes a very popular topic. So first of all, time saving and kind of organizing here. So one of the core elements that I've spoken about regarding Mennonite mindset is really the idea that less is more. And we have a cookbook. It's been around for a long time. It's called the More with Less Cookbook. This is outstanding. It's got some of the best, inexpensive, nutritious, and very delicious recipes I've ever had. I'll give you my favorite recipe from that book later on in this video, and I'll post a link on where you can buy this book if you'd like, or at least look at it and see if you'd like to purchase it. So something that's really time-saving is, this is another tip that I hope you find helpful. It's like the barn raising idea. You to get together with a large group of people so that you can all do one or two things and make up many, many meals that you each can freeze. You know, you take home, you freeze what you want, and you can freeze these meals. This can last for a month or so. You don't have to buy a freezer because I'm not big on upfront costs. They take too long to recoup. This is about saving money now. So clean out your freezer before you do this to make sure that you have enough space to, for your food to last. This can be done even with just a few people, and it can also be done just with one person. If you want to take a day or two and just do it, that can really, really, really help, and it can last a long time as well. Other time-saving devices are, of course, the crock pot. You can make an awful lot of things with the crock pot, not just stew, although stew is quite yummy. You can make other things as well. You can make soups. Soups can last a very, very long time. So that's very inexpensive. If you make your own soup, like for instance, split pea soup, if you make it from scratch, you can even use organic peas and still save money. So think about that. When it comes to things like bread makers, I find that they are a little more trouble than they're worth for me, because you can only make one loaf at a time, generally speaking. That's a little difficult. I like to make more, and I will post my favorite bread recipe at the end of this video. It's a wonderful, fast recipe for non-fail bread. So I would just recommend just making the bread because it is, in many ways, faster. It costs less. You don't have to buy the machine, and you end up saving more in the long run. Same thing with yogurt. I will post my favorite yogurt recipe as well, but I don't necessarily recommend buying the yogurt maker. They can range from, $30 to $40, and that's quite an expense when you're trying to save every penny. So I have a really good recipe for a one-dish yogurt. If you do have a yogurt maker, that's fine. You can use it. Hopefully it's glass and not plastic, the whole BPA issue going on. But you'll find this single dish recipe very, very fast and very easy, and saving you money. I'll post that as well. So those are some ideas on bringing down the cost, trying to make this quicker and faster. The crock pot, getting together with your friends. Another one is eating single foods. If you don't have time to make a whole salad, sometimes I just cut up a part of a cabbage. Cabbage is highly nutritious, and put a little vinegar on it, a little salt, and it's very tasty. It's extremely delicious. So something like that, just a single food, unprepared, in single dishes. So some recipes that I'll go over with you. Again, I mentioned the More with Less cookbook. My favorite recipe from that cookbook is Javanese dinner. You may know it as the Hawaiian pile-up. And it's basically rice, and you have a chicken cooking for a long time. It's just, you don't have to pay attention to it, just doing a thing. Then you cut up the chicken, put it over the rice. You cut up little dishes of different toppings such as celery, peanuts, pineapple, coconut. This is a great meal. It's very quick. It's like, it does its thing. It takes a while, but you don't have to sit there and prepare it. And it's such a hit wherever we do this, for parties, because people can choose what toppings they want, and they don't have to choose the ones that they don't. So I've never heard a complaint from this recipe ever. And it can serve a lot of people, or it can serve a few, and you can keep the stuff and use it again. So I will also post my favorite one dish yogurt recipe as mentioned. Just basically, I'll go over it. You do the same thing with cooking the milk. You let it cool, and then you put in the yogurt. You generally use more yogurt in the exact recipe I will have down there. And you stir it up into this big pot, and you stick it in the oven. If you don't have a gas oven, it might be a little hard to adjust that temperature perfectly. But the link that I will post will take you to a site where the lady is phenomenal in anything that could go wrong with your yogurt and how to prevent that. She's remarkable, and she also has some other amazing, very quick recipes for people who need to make healthy meals quickly. So another just quick recipe. I really like sweet potato chips. You cut up sweet potatoes very, very fine, and you stick them in the oven at 200 degrees for an hour. You turn them over with a spatula and put them in for another hour, and then let them cool. These are really, really good, and they get crispy after they cool. And you can do this with regular potatoes as well. And the More with Less cookbook does have corn chips if you need that sweet or that salty taste, and it's also got sweets as well. So, and these are all they're from various countries, and the goal of this book, obviously More with Less, is how to make nutritious meals with less money. So post your own ideas of how you've saved money on food while retaining the nutrition. We don't want to have to go to the store and get the worst food there that's just going to sit in your belly and make you feel sick, and may even actually make you sick. So, the goal is to bring down costs. Another thing that's very important is buying in bulk. Now, a lot of us don't live near a bulk store, so that's not going to be possible. But if you eat the higher quality food, I find anyway that I eat less of it. I don't have those cravings, and I don't just mindlessly eat, because I know that the food is costing a lot right now. So, if I were to buy organic eggs, I'd make sure to really make each one count. So that's another kind of trick that you can play on yourself, is to go to the very nutritious high end, not too high end, but organic basically, and just make every bite count. So definitely post your own ideas and ask me questions if you have recipes that maybe I can find an alternative, a least kind of lesser cost, and maybe even more nutritious. And so maybe we can post some recipes that others can find really helpful and helping them to save money on the food.